All right, let's talk about AI skills. When you hear that term, what really comes to mind? For a lot of people, and maybe for you too, it's a little fuzzy, right? Is it just a fancy new name for something we've been doing all along? Or is there something much, much bigger going on here? Well, let's dive in and clear all that up. So, I'm going to guess what a lot of you are probably thinking right now. Hold on, isn't a skill just a saved prompt? You know, a little shortcut so I don't have to keep typing the same thing over and over again? And look, that's a totally fair question. It's actually how most people see them. But, and this is a big but, that's really just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, this right here is the core of it. On one side, you've got the simple view. Skills are just checklists. And yeah, they're fine for basic, repeatable stuff. They save you some typing for sure. But then, you look at the other side. This is the real deal. Skills as captured strategic expertise. We're not talking about static instructions anymore. We're talking about dynamic, living workflows that can handle complex situations, use conditional logic, and the really big one, they can scale actual human intelligence across your entire team. It's a whole different ballgame.
So, how do we get from that simple checklist idea to this powerhouse of captured expertise? Well, to really get it, we need to break it down. There are three key building blocks that make all of this possible. First up, you have the skill itself. And I want you to stop thinking of this as just a single command. Think of it more like a recipe for a workflow. It's a whole set of instructions that tells the AI exactly how to handle a task, step by step from start to finish.
Next, you've got connectors. Now, if the skill is the recipe, the connectors are what let the AI actually go into your pantry and grab the ingredients. These are the tools that let the AI safely tap into your other services, your email, your calendar, your Slack, to get the real-time data it needs to work with.
And finally, there's the space. This is the kitchen. It's the organized area where the whole process happens. You can have a space for a specific project or for a certain part of your job, and it contains only the skills, the knowledge, and the memory that are relevant for that specific context. So what's in your Q4 sales push space is going to be totally different from what's in your team admin space. Okay, so we've got our building blocks: skill, connector, and space. Now, let's start with an example of a skill that you'd probably expect to see. This is the kind of thing that fits right into that saved prompt mindset we talked about. It'll give us a good baseline before we get to the really cool stuff. I mean, who hasn't used something like this? The classic summarize a document skill. Super useful, right? You feed it a file, it pulls out the main points, and boom, you get a summary. It's a great little time saver. But it's still just a checklist. It's not capturing any real deep expertise. So yeah, summarizing is useful. That's our baseline. But what about the tasks that aren't just about crunching information? What about the stuff that requires, well, expertise, judgment, a real methodology? I'm talking about something like coaching a brand new salesperson on how to navigate a really tricky customer call. You can't just summarize your way to becoming a great coach, right?
Okay, now this is where things get really interesting. Let's look at a skill that actually coaches. First, it reads the entire transcript of a sales call. Then, and this is the magic part, it doesn't just summarize. It uses a built-in framework to identify specific things, like when a customer raises an objection. After that, it actually compares how the salesperson responded against a set of best practices, and it scores them. From there, it generates super specific, actionable feedback on what they could have said differently. And to top it all off, it even drafts a follow-up email that bakes in that new coaching advice. Wow!
So you see the difference? This isn't a checklist, not even close. This is an entire expert workflow, a decision-making process that your best sales manager would use, captured inside a reusable skill. It has a framework for judgment and analysis baked right in, ready to be used again and again. But here's where it goes from cool to a total game changer: scaling this expertise across a whole team. I mean, just imagine for a second. What if your absolute best, most experienced sales coach could personally sit in and review every single call from every new team member? I mean, that's humanly impossible. But for a skill, not a problem.
Check this out. We have two different salespeople. They both run the exact same coaching skill on two totally different calls. Salesperson A runs into a price objection. The skill immediately spots this and provides specific talk tracks for overcoming that exact problem. Now, salesperson B gets a completely different objection. They're asking for more features. The skill identifies that unique situation and gives totally different coaching, this time about reframing the conversation around value. It's the same expert brain, the same framework, but the coaching is perfectly tailored to each individual's need. That is what expertise at scale looks like.
And believe me, This isn't just for sales coaching. Think about it. You could capture the expertise for generating the perfect customer status update, one that automatically pulls in all the context from recent emails, Slack messages, and call notes. Or what about a skill that drafts a new proposal by analyzing every piece of past correspondence to get the tone just right? You could even have a skill that plays devil's advocate to stress test your big new idea. Each one of these is a deep, sophisticated workflow, not just a simple little command.
So if there is just one thing you remember from all this, I want it to be this right here. Skills aren't just checklists, they are captured expertise. It's about taking that deep, strategic knowledge from your best people and turning it into a tool that everyone can use, anytime they need it.
And that really just leaves one final question for you to think about. What's that unique expertise in your world? What's that expert workflow, that special piece of judgment that you or your best team members have, that if you could bottle it up and scale it, would completely change the game for your entire team?